Friends, myself Subrata Mukherjee, and today I will discuss about activity-based costing. In traditional costing or conventional costing, it can lead to undercosting or overcosting. Undercosting takes place when the actual overhead is more but the overhead absorbed is less. And overcosting takes place when the actual overhead is less but the overhead absorbed is more. In activity-based costing, it focuses on the activity and the overhead is allocated based upon an appropriate cost driver. I request the student to copy the problem in your notebook before you proceed, and I request to subscribe my channel and to see the playlist section of the channel to see the earlier videos that I have uploaded there.
Are some of the activities that I have given and the cost driver. So machine setup, the cost is the activity and the cost driver is the number of production runs. Purchasing material is the activity, so which is, and the cost driver is number of order placed. Warehousing, items in stock. Material handling, number of parts. Inspection per item. Quality testing, hours of test time. Receiving material, number of receiving orders. Packing, number of packing orders. Store delivery, number of store deliveries. Line item ordering, number of line items. Limited makes 3 main products using broadly the same production methods and equipment for each. A conventional product costing system is used at present, although an activity-based costing system is being considered. Details of the 3 products for typical period are: Product X, half hour of labor, 1.5 hour of machine, rupees 20 material per unit and 750 units of production. For product Y, 1.5 labor hour is required, 1 machine hour is required, rupees 20 material per unit and 1250 is the production. For product Z, 1 labor hour is required, 3 machine hours, rupees 25 per material per unit and 7,000 units were produced. Direct labor cost rupees 6 per hour and production overheads are absorbed on a machine hour basis. The rate for the period is rupees 28 per machine hour. You are required to calculate the cost per unit for each product using conventional method. Further analysis shows that the total of production overhead can be divided as follows: cost related to setups 35%, cost relating to machinery 20%, cost relating to material handling 15%, cost relating to inspection 30%, total production overhead 100%. The following activity volumes are associated with the product line for the period as a whole. Total activities for the period: Product X, 75 number of setups, 12 number of movements of material and 150 number of inspection. Product Y, 115 number of setups, 21 number of movements of material and 100 units of inspection or 180 number of inspection. Product Z, 480 number of setups, 87 number of movements of material and 670 number of inspection. You are required to calculate the cost per unit for each product using ABC principles. This problem we will prepare 2 working. Number 1 is the computation of total overhead based on machine hour rate, conventional method of costing or absorption costing. So for product X, what is the total overhead cost we have incurred? So for product X, 750 units were produced, 1.5 hour of machine is required and machine hour rate is rupees 28. So overhead for product X is 31,500. Similarly, for product Y, 1250 units were produced, 1 machine hour is required and rupees 28 is the machine hour rate. So overhead for product Y is 35,000. And for product Z, 7,000 units were produced, 3 machine hour is required per unit of product Z and machine hour rate is rupees 28. So 5,88,000 is the overhead for product Z. So total overhead incurred is 6,54,500. So the second working is the computation of overhead rate for ABC costing. Now first cost pool is the setup cost. So what is the overhead for setup? So 35%, which is given in the question. 35% of total overhead 6,54,500 is 2,29,075, and the cost driver is number of setup. Number of setup is 670, which is given in the question. So the rate of setup will be 2,29,075 divided by 670 number of setup is rupees 341.90 per setup. Second is the machine cost. 20% of 6,54,500 is 1,30,900. Machine hour required 750 units were produced for product X into 1.5 machine hour is required. So 1.5 is the machine hour required for per unit of product X. So we have multiplied 750 into 1.5. So 1,250 units of product Y were produced, and for product Y 1 machine hour is required, and 7,000 product of Z were produced and 3 machine hour is required for product Z. So altogether 23,375 machine hour is required for production of X, Y and Z. So what is the rate for machine cost? So this is 1,39,500 divided by 23,375 hours. So rupees 5.60 per machine hour. And material handling cost, 15% of 6,54,500. So this is 98,175. Number of movements of material is 120, which is given in the question, and the rate is 98,175 divided by 120 is rupees 818.125 per material movement. And similarly for inspection cost, so total inspection cost is 30% of 6,54,500 is 1,96,350. Number of inspection given in the question is 1,000. So inspection rate is 196.35 per inspection. Now question A or part A of the question, cost per unit under conventional costing for product X, Y and Z. So material required is rupees 20, 12 and 25. So these are given in your question. So what is the labor required? Labor cost rupees 6 is the labor cost per hour, and half hour is required for product X. So 6 into half is rupees 3. Similarly, 1.5 hour is required for production of Y. Per unit of Y, it requires 1.5 hour. So rupees 9 is the product cost or labor cost for product Y. Similarly, for product Z, 1 labor hour is required for per unit of production of product Z, and rupees 6 is the labor cost per hour. So rupees 6 is the labor cost, and overhead is calculated on machine hour rate. So rupees 28 is the machine hour rate, and 1.5 hour or 1.5 machine hour is required for product X. So 42 is the overhead cost per unit, and for product Y 1 hour machine hour is required, and the rate of machine hour is rupees 28. So 28 is the overhead cost, and for product Z 3 machine hour is required. So rupees 84 is the per unit cost or overhead cost. So cost per unit for product X is 65, cost per unit of product Y is 49, and cost per unit of product Z is 115. Per unit under ABC costing, material for product X is rupees 20, for product Y is rupees 12, and for product Z it is 25. Labor cost required is rupees 3, rupees 9 and rupees 6. This is because 6 into half, 6 into 1.5 is 9, and 6 into 1 hour is required per labor hour is required for production per unit of Z. So first item is the setup cost. So 75 number of setup is required for product X, the rate of setup cost is 341.90 and 750 units of X were produced. So 34.19. For product Y, this is 115 number of setup is required. 341.90 is the setup cost and 1250 is the production. So per unit setup cost is 31.45. Similarly, for unit setup cost for product Z is 23.44. This is 480 is the total number of setup required for product Z. 341.90 is the setup cost per setup and divided by 7000 units of production. Then next item is machine cost. So machine cost 5.60 is the machine hour rate we have calculated in the working. 1.5 machine hour is required for per unit of product X. So machine cost per unit of X is 8.4. Machine cost per unit of Y is 5.6 because 1 machine hour is required per unit of X or per unit of Y, and 5.6 is the machine hour rate. Similarly, for product Z, 3 machine hour is required for product Z. 5.60 is the machine hour rate, so 16.80 per unit machine cost is required for product Z. For material handling, 12 is the number of movements of material. 818.125 is the material handling cost. 750 is the production. So material handling cost per unit for product X is 13.9. Material handling cost per unit of product Y is 13.70 and material handling per unit of product Z is 10.17. So for product Y, you can see in the question it is given 21 number of movements of material is required for product Y. 818.125 is the material handling cost rate and 1250 is the number of production for product Y. And for product Z, 87 number of movements of material is required. The rate is 818.125 and 7000 units of production were made for product Z, so 10.17. And inspection cost, number of inspection for product X required is 150. Inspection cost is cost per inspection is 196.35. We have calculated in the shown it in the working, and 750 is the total production of product X. So inspection cost per unit of product X is 39.27. So inspection cost per unit of product Y is 28.27 and inspection cost per unit of product Z is 18.79. For product Y, 180 number of inspection were required. 196.35 is the inspection cost per unit, and per inspection, basically per inspection 196.35 is the cost per inspection, and 1250 units of product Y were produced. 670 inspection were made for product Z, and inspection cost per inspection is 196.35 and 7000 units were produced regarding product Z. So inspection cost per unit of Z is 18.79 and cost per unit for product X is 117.95. For product Y it is 100.06 and for product Z this is 100.20. So this is the cost per unit under ABC costing. It is given in one sheet.
Hope you have understood the problem, and I request to subscribe my channel who are viewing my videos to get regular updates. Thank you.